Hello.
Hey, hi.
Hi,
Hi, bro.
Hello.
Did we go live?
we are live. We are live.
Like, okay,
Yes.
Krishna, over to
Yeah,
you.
we are
Which
here to.
which no referee can say to a Barca fan right now, but you have to give and you are live. You have to start.
Yeah, yeah. This is one of those days that I don't enjoy being a podcast host. We are here to review the UCL games, semifinals of the 2024 edition, and we had two cracker games. Bayern versus Real Madrid, followed by Dortmund versus PSG. That is what we are here to discuss. Much to my annoyance, since I was the admin and the only one with the access to stream, these guys forced me to get on the stream and discuss about two games I couldn't care less about. That's what we are here to do. Cool. Let's proceed this. I'm going to have the same enthusiasm as a bank teller when you go at 12 p.m. and ask them about a check. So
Or a
that's going
passbook
to be
entry.
so.
Or a passbook entry.
Yeah, passbook entry, of course. That's the same enthusiasm that you're going to see from me. But yeah, I'll try to put past my
What will?
remarkable energy and excitement
Mm.
to
Yeah.
give a neutral moderation to the discussion. Let's start off with the Bayern versus Real Madrid game. It's one of those games where you want both the teams to lose as a Barca fan. And I guess I got the wish in some way. 2-2 at the Allianz Arena. And in a lot of ways, as our title suggests, it was Madrid pulling a textbook Real Madrid on a UCL night. Start off on the back foot, but then somehow magically get into the game, usually through some sheer piece of brilliance from one of Toni Kroos or Luka Modric. And this week it was Toni Kroos. And from there on, there was no looking back. But somehow, Bayern at home, uh, pretty strong squad that can go toe to toe with Madrid, managed to salvage a draw against Real Madrid with the scoreline ending 2-2. That speaks volume about how good Real Madrid is at the business end of the UCL. So let's start off with Casemiro. First thoughts on the Madrid versus Bayern game.
Finally, a week where or a midweek where I did not have to do any hate watching. So, as a proper neutral to watch the game, it was fun. Not just one game, but both the games, and the quality of the games was also very good. And as a United fan who wants Eric Ten Hag to stay, and with all the rumors around Thomas Tuchel, he certainly passed some of the audition with flying colors with his tactical prowess. Like Bayern took the game to Real Madrid. I know it's a home game for them, but Bayern was like on another level when it came to the first 20 minutes, I would say, and it was complete dominance by them. And Real Madrid, actually, to be honest, was lucky to stay nil-nil at that point of time, and they would have taken that at any specific point of time. But as you mentioned, all it took was just one pass from Cruz to kill the game off or kill the first half immediately and bring the crowd's energy down immediately. And I also read a post about how Cruz wanted to stay at Bayern Munich to start with before he left for Madrid when he left like around a decade ago, almost a decade ago. It's been so long, and he wanted to be the top earner at Bayern Munich. He didn't want to leave the boyhood club office, and he couldn't earn what Götze was earning at the club. And he immediately said, "I'll rather go to Madrid and win trophies," and that's what he's doing right now. So can't complain at all. Amazing game, was proper Cruz masterclass, to be honest. And yeah, from a Bayern tactical point of view, I think the game was very good for Konrad Leimer. Leimer played an amazing game, in my opinion, and Musiala and Sane also had amazing games. Uh, the way that they switched their wingers in between the game, like Coman and uh, Sane, which is not generally something that you see because right from City days, I have always wanted Sane to play on the left wing for at least some time, because it's a joy to see him play on the left wing and him whipping those crosses in a wicked fashion. We have been missing that because ever since he has gone to Bayern, he has always been on the right wing and doing what Arjen Robben used to do for a decade or so. So it was fun to see them swapping wings and Sane shooting from the left as well. Harry Kane also had a pivotal moment in the game. The penalty, in my opinion, was a little soft for Bayern. Musiala got it somehow. You wouldn't agree because it was neither team should be getting penalty for you, Krista. But I think comparing what Kim Min Jae did, the penalty was quite soft given to Bayern. But ultimately, they deserved the lead when they got the lead at 2-1. And from then on, yeah, Luka Modric had to come and had to save some blemish for Real Madrid. And Kim Min Jae made the game easy for Real Madrid ultimately. Like, as Tuchel rightly called out, you shouldn't be aggressive so much in the first half of the game when you're technically playing for 180 minutes and all Real Madrid need is 2 passes to score a goal.
Hey, I have a slightly unrelated question. Klasa, because Tuchel is being linked with United, uh, what did you think of the comments that about Kim Min Hye? Like it felt like a
I think
coach
no. I
stepping
think
on.
as a manager, I think you should rightly call out people. Like, if you don't have that option to even call out someone in public for a mistake. Of course, he didn't say like Kim Min Jae should not play for the club or anything. It's just rightly pointing out a mistake. Of course, he could have done it internally. He would have blasted him probably in the dressing room at the same time. But I think calling out mistakes is not wrong as long as it is possibly going to improve the player because he's a new signing. We don't know
I,
even if Kim Min Jae was crucial signing to start with because he constantly fights with most of the boards wherever he goes because he doesn't get the players that he wants. So ideally speaking, if Delict was there and fit, he would have played the game over Kim Min Jae. So it was the last resort choice that he had right now. But Kim Min
I
Jae's
can't
odd.
wait for the second half of this discussion where we get to talk about managers picking fights with players and going, over the top only to
Yeah,
have that
it's
backfire.
the game has become soft, to be honest. Like, as a player you should be able to take it on the chin and see where you can improve and prove your manager wrong on the pitch rather than going to social media and cry or go to your agent and ask for a different club. Like, I don't understand that anymore. Yeah, but it was an amazing game, in my opinion. And yeah, purely from a neutral standpoint, I enjoyed the game completely, even though a little bias would be to 51-49. I would say my bias was more towards Real Madrid to win it because I saw another
No,
post which said
no, please, no, no.
because there was a post which said they have so many Champions League that it is not in order right now. One side has more Champions League and the other side does not have as many Champions League. So they want another Champions League to balance both sides apparently in their museum. So I found that totally funny. They are now toying with they're just running out of reasons to win the trophy.
Yeah. So, Kase, so that was a great review of the game that we just saw today. So it was a textbook UCL game apart from the mighty Premier League clubs competing in the semifinals and the quarterfinals over the past 4 to 5 years. So I would like to recall one incident like regarding Tuchel's tactics. Okay, so when I saw the first 20 minutes or 25 minutes of the Bayern Madrid game, I could recall the first game that Tuchel took over at Chelsea. It was Chelsea versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. The game started at 0-0, obviously, and then the game ended 0-0. But Chelsea played nearly 950 passes, and Wolves played only like 130 passes throughout the whole game. Okay, and in the first half alone, like Chelsea were playing 500 passes. Like they weren't literally giving breathing space to Daniel Podence and Pedro Neto, who were the flash-like wingers for Wolverhampton Wanderers and who could snatch an opportunity from Chelsea's defenders if they make a breath of a mistake. So Chelsea's performance in Tuchel's first game was so airtight they could keep any opponent from making any advance towards the defense line. So I could literally remember that game and see the classic Tuchel implementing his tactics against Real Madrid. Same wingers like Daniel Podence and Pedro Neto. The Vinicius and Rodrigo are like the high budget guys, high budget versions of Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior. You could compare like that. Okay, so as I said, I could see Tuchel implementing his textbook style of tactics, but Cruz, being the German sniper that he is, it all just took one clean-cut pass from his right foot to like banish the entire German defense of Bayern, the entire defense of Bayern Munich, and then put a through pass to Vinicius to slot the goal. One particular incident that I could remember from that goal was as soon as the goal went in, Thomas Muller was shouting, what the fuck, like 4 to 5 times to his teammates, and he was banishing Kim Min Jae like anything for missing that for missing to tackle Vinicius Junior at the near post.
Not tracking
So
Vinicius.
yeah,
I'm
that
pretty
pass.
sure Muller learned that right before the game. He knew he had to use it at some point, considering the opposition was Real Madrid.
No,
I don't
his head was hot as red. He was like a pressure cooker, like shouting at Kim Min Jae and Manuel Neuer himself. Who, to be honest, it could have been a pretty easy save for Manuel Neuer, but Vinicius managed to slot that ball past Neuer's legs.
I was
And
surprised Neuer didn't sweep the ball actually.
yeah,
Because it was in his sweeping territory, but he was kind of sticking to the post. I didn't understand why though.
Yeah, he stayed on his line this time.
So yeah, after that Cruz's pass, like obviously you could say the temperament of the Bayern Munich team went down massively, and they failed to regain the momentum that they had in the first half. And then somehow, I like we already spoke, that substitution of Leon Goretzka going out and then Rafael Guerrero coming in gave that push for Bayern Munich along that left flank, and also concurrently on the right flank for Bayern Munich to go blasting forwards, breaking the midfield and defense of Real Madrid. And that is why I think they could make all those forward runs in the wings, and then that resulted in Jamal Musiala making an inward run in the box and then claiming the penalty. So yeah, that was what gave Bayern Munich a confident boost in the next 45 to 50 minutes that progressed as the game, and as Real Madrid equalized, unfortunately, in the latter half of the game was put to rest, and then a 2-2 draw was accomplished.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with both of you, like Charlie and Casemiro. Yeah, it was a very enjoyable game as a neutral. As an Arsenal fan, I have no horse in the race, but I didn't want Bayern to win because of the last round.
have
But
horse in the race. You just deliver believing you do elsewhere.
yeah, but I mean, I'm okay with either of them going through. It's not like I have a particularly strong feeling towards any of those teams. So, yeah, but
DK,
so as a neutral, it was good.
DK,
So enjoy.
I highly suspect you are a neutral. Like Bayern Munich just
Because of
thrashed you. No,
It was not
Bayern Munich just thrashed you final like 3 or 4 times in the past, and you're saying like you're a neutral. Like how?
Okay, that's unfair. It was always
That-
5-1. Okay.
It was 5-1 like 3 times.
This is like Oscar slotting that goal in the 7-1
7.
game. Yeah, like what is this comparison? I don't know.
Yes. What
Yeah.
did you achieve? No,
Yeah,
I
what did
didn't
you
get
achieve?
the clean
No, I
sheet.
didn't. Yeah,
That was 7 years ago. Anyway,
yeah.
it's
Tala for a reason.
DK. The only reason it was 7 years ago is that's the
because
last time
Arsenal
you
never played in the Champions League all those years.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, as all of you mentioned, Bayern started really well. I think Sane had a very good chance at the beginning. It was a much better chance than what Vinicius actually scored from. So Vinicius' goal was probably a more difficult chance. And then they didn't score from the first 20 odd minutes of possession. And once Cruz had that great through ball, it was just everyone knew what was going to happen once Vinicius got to the ball. Yeah, as Charlie mentioned, yeah, Kim Min Jae probably did not have his best game, and Thomas Müller was not happy. Thomas Tuchel was not happy with him. He also gave away the penalty later in the game, and I'm actually like, yeah, Thomas Tuchel, I can understand. I think he's leaving, so he's in this notice. He can say whatever he wants. It's not like next season he has to be there, and the Bundesliga is already done. So it's like notice period kind of Thomas Tuchel. He is saying whatever he wants. But yeah, tactics wise, I liked what Tuchel had. He gave Musiala a free role. He could, roam around, and he was actually playing much further forward as compared to even Harry Kane. Harry Kane had to drop deep a lot of times and he could like play balls out to Sane and Musiala. Um, so yeah, I did not agree with the penalty as such, the one that Musiala got. Yeah, he's a great player, and he uh, at that pace, I can understand that you can fall over with even a little contact, but I think it was soft, the penalty that Bayern got, and yeah, I think Harry Kane always has that in his locker. He has scored like 42 goals this season,
Yeah.
and like half of them were penalties. I'm joking. He scored like 10 penalties against Arsenal. So I hate him and I hate seeing him score penalties.
As you
But
should. As you
yeah, but
should.
It's how good Harry Kane is with penalties.
yeah,
Yeah.
All the more
he's
baffling that he missed the most important one in his career. I don't recall him missing any other penalty.
Penalty. Yeah, me too. See,
the one
like
against France. Yeah.
he slots any penalty into the back of the net with sheer force and accuracy. But yeah, I literally don't get how he
I
missed that
I
penalty.
think I think he was equally shocked that Southgate had coached them to play a good game. So that's why he
Yeah.
was shocked and he missed the penalty.
Yeah. But anyway,
But
Real
but
Madrid somehow got back into the game with one penalty. I think that again Kim Min Jae, that penalty I could agree that it was like very aggressive, and he wrestled him to the ground. There's very little you can argue about that.
Yeah.
but
I
but
also
one
want to talk
fact
about.
that
Yeah,
yeah,
go on,
sorry, Krishna.
Charlie.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but one thing, or I should say, one small rivalry that I was looking forward to seeing in the Bayern Madrid match was the duel or the performance clash between Jamal Musiala and Jude Bellingham. Like how Mason Mount and Declan Rice grew up together in the West London chassis and all that areas. Jamal Musiala and Jude Bellingham almost grew together, grew up in the same academies, played together, and then split apart, playing for Bayern Munich and Dortmund respectively, and then Bellingham coming for Madrid. I was always like eager to see how the clash among this duo would go, and I was literally happy that Jamal Musiala came out on top in that game because Jude Bellingham had a ghost of a performance on in that match that so much so he was. I literally didn't see him on the screen. Literally didn't see him come on the screen apart from the usual PR camera moves uh, that usual TV networks do to show Jude Bellingham doing some skill moves and stuff. But Jamal Musiala dominated Bellingham like anything.
He was substituted
This is
at
this
like
is this is
80th minute or
this is
something.
this is this is a salty Liverpool fan speaking because Jude Bellingham
Yeah.
rejected Liverpool. That is what is happening right now.
And
No,
not to
no, no,
not to mention
no.
a class and Barca fans.
Yeah.
The
No, but
last
you.
stream, even after me, that I would take whatever his take on Bellingham is. But he does bring up a fair point. Bellingham is very weird in that sense. He does have the tendency to disappear in big games.
Yeah.
An accusation that you have for someone like Haaland. But at the same time, he is also one of the biggest big game players. So I don't know. It's almost like that Prestige movie where
Yeah,
one
I
day
think
one will us to show
I
up and another day the duplicate version comes on.
I think we need to understand that Bellingham is playing in a position which is not his ideal position to start with. He is a
Yeah.
makeshift second striker right now only because Mbappe didn't sign last year. If
Yeah.
Mbappe had signed, you would see Bellingham in a floater role, probably not
Isco type
playing
of
just
role.
in,
Isco type of role,
yeah,
Ozil type
yeah,
of role. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isco Ozil type of a role,
Yeah.
probably, and you wouldn't see him playing striker. And if you are not getting the ball first and foremost as Real Madrid, because you're chasing the game all the time and the game is more judged off the ball rather than on the ball. And for Bellingham, he is not a striker first and foremost, and he has to have the instinctiveness to go in and be where, let's say, a Joselu or someone else would have ideally been there, or Benzema would have been there. And if he's not getting a service, it is obvious that he is going to disappear. So you cannot say like it is like Haaland who gets service most of the times, and he might miss certain chances, and that's why you say that Haaland flops. The issue is Real Madrid, when they are chasing the game, they are actually chasing the game because they play most of the game without the ball. And we cannot judge Bellingham when a team is completely off the ball.
Yeah, sure.
But
I
But
yeah,
agree.
also like
just
Class A, but
Darwin Nunes who finishes, I guess.
sorry.
That more than a Holland who goes, he's a
Yeah,
Nunez who finishes.
And he's not a
yeah.
striker, but
So but
yeah,
yeah.
right now he's playing as.
yeah,
But purely to bring back to the topic where you compared Musiala and Bellingham, both are technically English. But I'm so glad that Musiala left Chelsea and went to Bayern Munich to start with, because I wouldn't want Musiala to do what he did against United week in week out in
United.
the league every single time. So I'm very glad that he's chosen Germany as his country and Germany as his nationality, and he's playing in Bayern Munich because Germany needs someone like Musiala and Wirtz to bring back the club, bring back the German football team back to its former glory, because they have been in quite a slump and they have a good coach right now, and Musiala and Wirtz would actually do good for the team right now. And yeah, as you mentioned, it is just one tie here where Musiala got the better of Bellingham.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do in Santiago Bernabeu, and then we can possibly come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Probably Bellingham, being that clutch player he is, he might turn up and score a couple of goals or a couple of worldies, like how he did in El Clasico against Barcelona.
Yeah.
I was wondering when that would be brought up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a great goal
So
too.
yeah. So
Yeah,
Class A, just two things here, right? Sorry, Kriska. Yeah. So Kriska and Class A, just two things here, right? To finish off with. So when it comes to Musiala and Bellingham, just I'll finish that with a single opinion. Musiala is type of a purebred dribbler into the box who just gives that final assist to the striker, the poacher, and then the poacher slots it into the back of the net. But I have rarely seen Jude Bellingham dribble the ball from the second third, the middle third till the final third, and then slotting a goal like Musiala does. But Jude Bellingham seems to be always at the right place at the right time, and that's what aids in his excellence at Madrid. But I don't think Musiala is at the right place at the right time for Bayern Munich. But
I
that's
think I
also
think I think we are comparing two different profiles here.
yes,
Bellingham is more
yeah,
similar to Gerrard, I would say, and
yeah,
Musiala is more like Hazard, I would say. So we are completely comparing two different people here. Yeah, so you can be all salty that you want about Bellingham, that he doesn't do it, but he has done it for Real Madrid all year. And
okay,
If Madrid wins the Champions League, and they are already going to win the league, he's a good shout out for Ballon d'Or next year. And if he has a decent showing in Euros, I think nothing is going to stop him from getting the Ballon d'Or then. And
Messi,
that too at
please,
20.
Messi.
Did you make compilations for like Welcome to Liverpool Bellingham before like 2 seasons
Oh,
ago?
I
yep. Now we are getting to the bottom of Charlie's unreasonable comparison
okay.
between Musiala and
Yeah. I am salty about Bellingham. He didn't come to Liverpool. Like, yeah, it's just like stuffed in the bottom of my heart. I just had to get that out.
clearly
Yeah,
it's not stuffed here. It's all out there, all over.
It's
yeah,
very surface level.
But
yeah,
unlike Charlie, credit where due. There is this meme, right? He cannot keep getting away with this, and Madrid
yeah.
is
Exactly. He cannot
more
It's
like
Real
times
Madrid.
than we
like
can
Aaron
count.
Paul, Aaron Paul in Breaking Bad. Like he cannot keep getting away with this. That meme that just comes to me mind. But
So
after
I think
this,
I have gotten on like 5-6 streams and brought this up. That is how many number of times they have done this, especially turning things around from when they haven't been dominating games, be it the El Clasico that happened recently, or the previous El Clasico, or the City fixtures where they literally had like 1% chance, right? It's unbelievable. And finally, I was talking in a cricket stream yesterday comparing the Australian cricket team with Real Madrid. And Real Madrid is the Australian cricket team of UCLs, right? They don't have to be in form, they don't have to dominate the games. Somehow, someone always manages to step up, and it's just some random players. You would have like Joselu, you would have like Carvajal, like whose knees gave out like when Wijnaldum scored a brace against Barcelona, but somehow he's still going on strong and putting in man of the match performances when Madrid needs it. It's unbelievable how much winning is a habit for Madrid. And I think Jude recently spoke about this in a press conference as well about how when he came to the club, like that is what is expected, the mentality. And I'm really glad that he got to go to Madrid rather than any other club. For him and Mbappe are two players who are tailor made for Madrid. We always talk about players who are made for the Barca DNA, but not so much for Real Madrid. But him and Mbappe are absolute mentality monsters who could be having the worst games of their lives and simply turn it around, at a heartbeat. And that's what I mean. I know he didn't do it last night, but that's the DNA for the entire team. And the fact that they walked away with a 2-2 draw and nobody bats an eye. Like, despite the domestic form, Bayern is an irresistible force. That's a WWE reference for DK and Klasa. When it comes to UCL games at the Alliance Arena. But nobody even like notices that home advantage, nothing like that. Recent form, nothing matters when you play against Real Madrid. I just hope that they have one bad game that they usually have in a season. Usually it's in Copa del Rey where they accidentally include suspended players or they give away cheap
Yeah.
fouls and they are reduced to 10 men or something like that. So far this season, they haven't done that. I thought one of the Classicos would go in our way, courtesy some implosion from Madrid. That hasn't happened. I can only pray that it happens at the return leg. Although, let's face it, Madrid at Bernabeu, it's as good as a done deal. Bayern win would probably be one of the biggest upsets of the season. I think on that note, I want to move on to the next game, which
Now,
is
before we move, we have to speak about Vinicius. And you said about clutch. We have to speak at least about 2 sentences or 2 minutes for Vinicius, because Vinicius, from that person who had a spat with Benzema in the
Dressing room.
walking part, saying don't pass to him. Look at how big he has become right now, and he's easily the best left winger in the world right now. So after investing so much money by Real Madrid, the first 3 years were not easy for him. Ideally speaking, he couldn't even get a proper touch. His touch used to go like 2-3 meters in the front. Right now, he plays what we thought Hazard would do for Real Madrid when he signed for Real Madrid, and even better, actually speaking.
yeah,
So
exactly. That's a brilliant call out, Casemiro. I remember, and for Perez, it was a matter of ego, right? He has
Yeah.
been trying to sign the next Neymar for 10 years around the time Vinicius was finally signed. And the confidence that they showed, and Carlo in particular, for that allowed him to turn things around. Once again, taking another cricketing example, that's something that CSK does regularly with their players. Trust the out of form players to come good. And again, that's the champions mentality. And I'm not a fan of Vinicius at all, and not just because like he makes our life hell. I have like serious issues with his issues on the pitch, right?
Yeah.
I think he is one of the biggest drama queens in football right now,
Cry babies, cry
alongside Bruno
babies.
Fernandes. It's always those two. It's like the Messi versus Ronaldo of the drama battles.
I mean, he
Not
he has
that.
good reasons. He has good reasons also. Like sometimes like
yeah, yeah. Charlie
to
also has a good reason to cry about Vinicius
Uh,
after the final goal.
yeah. I want like more than that Vinicius goal. What hurts me is that Courtois performance. Like he was like some Leviashin or like Leviashin like performance in the World Cup, the Champions League final alone, and then he vanished somewhere afterwards. Yeah,
Now
I
he got an
don't know
ACL
where.
injury. I genuinely hope
Yeah,
Lunin plays the entire Real Madrid season though, because he deserves to play
yeah,
based on purely
Absolutely.
on form. I hope
Yeah.
Courtois does not play for the return legs, because even though he's fit right now, it is not justice, because Lunin has done his work.
Momentum.
And
He has a momentum.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Again, one of those fringe players becoming world class
Exactly.
players when it matters, right? Cool. Let's just hope. Okay. Who fancies Bayern Munich? You know,
Not really. Huh?
pulling off a heist. Oh wow.
Bayern Munich, 2 hands. Yeah.
Okay, I don't mean wishful thinking. Just to be clear, I mean like the probability of
I,
Bayern actually.
I,
Yeah,
I hope
totally.
It's
I
Real
hope we
Madrid.
get a decent. I hope we get a decent game of football. Given a choice, I won't mind any winner, but preferably Real Madrid, so that we can have our brothers win the
Class
another
A,
title.
enough, please.
No, not that. But yeah,
But
I mean, you
but
don't bet against Real
yeah,
Madrid in the
but
Champions League.
but what I am trying to say here is, Kriska, just two things here. Regarding Real Madrid going into the Copa del Rey finals and then beginning their form, let's just hope that Ancelotti doesn't raise his eyebrow in the later part of the matches. If he does that, then the game is over. No matter what God does and comes on the pitch, nothing can stop them. Second part is why I would like to like for Bayern to come to the final is because of the next game also. If Bayern come to the final and then Dortmund somehow
Yeah,
make
that
an
would be
upset against PSG in the return leg, the final will be a Bayern versus Dortmund final in Wembley, just like how it happened 10 years ago
11 years
exactly. 11 years ago exactly. So it was Bayern versus Dortmund in Wembley at 2013, if I'm not wrong, Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Arjen
like,
Robben
like I
scored the.
said,
Yeah,
like
2013
we
final.
categorically said no wishful thinking. He started
Yeah,
off
so
with last reason, then
But
ended
Copa
with
del Rey is already done, right? Copa del Rey is already done.
yeah, it's done.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh,
Madrid
so
was not.
let,
Madrid won't win the treble, so
treble,
let
yeah,
it.
so
that, yeah, so that's out of the equation. The only club that can win a treble right now is Bayern Leverkusen. No one else.
yes.
Yeah, but that will be Europa League, and they are unbeaten across.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unbeaten treble. Yeah, so the biggest treble of all trebles.
Bayern Leverkusen also have a game tonight against AS Roma, I guess.
Yeah, like it's the German club's dominance suddenly, right, all over.
Yeah, so yeah, because of yesterday's game, Germany now have 5 spots in the Champions League. That
Yeah,
means
Yeah,
Premier League
yeah,
only has 4.
Damn.
yeah.
massive.
Anyhow, EPL
Can
is doing
somebody
what
quickly
it
summarize
yeah.
that rule for anyone watching?
Not very sure,
No,
but I think they are
not really.
increasing
But
the number of uh, uh,
coefficient,
teams from
UEFA
32 to
coefficient.
36, and they are doing some sort of like uh, two-tiered round of 16. It's not round of 16; it's like round of 24. But I'm like they have given like a very complicated algorithm of how which
Okay.
teams play each other and how that happens. But yeah, you'll have to like have a separate episode just to explain that.
Right.
Yeah, if City and Arsenal had gone through to the next round and played the semi-finals, EPL had another coefficient. But right now, I think Aston Villa is the only team that is playing in Europe right now. Every other
Yeah,
team has been knocked out. So, as a result of other teams bottling, the fifth spot has gone out to other leagues right now.
Okay.
So no
Cool.
Tottenham,
Speaking
no
of bottling,
United.
let's move on to the Dortmund versus PSG game. It almost feels unfair to say that PSG bottled it, but such is the strength of the squads that any win over PSG at any point in time in 2024 is considered an upset. So let's talk about the Dortmund versus PSG game. Of course, played in BVB's home ground. I want to get the pronunciation right. Westfalenstadion.
Westfalen
Alan
Stadium.
Stadion.
Yeah,
Westfalen
It's
Stadium.
easier. It's easier to say Signal Iduna Park. So
Yeah,
Signal is apart. Well, I just want to, protect whatever is the last shred of tradition that is left with football.
yeah.
That is all. Yeah, I think the only obvious way to begin uh, a review about Dortmund and PSG in a stream that has Casemiro present is talk about Jadon Sancho.
I'm
Yeah.
sure like Class A has a hell a lot of amount to rant on Sancho
No,
and
no. See, the thing is, uh, before Sancho signed for United, had been to 3 games in Germany just to watch Sancho. Even a United scout wouldn't have gone that many games to see Sancho. Okay, I went for 3 games just because
Legend,
Sancho
legend
was
says that Klasa was the one who handed the water
playing.
bottle to Jadon Sancho in
So,
that live
Yeah,
stream where somebody asked if he's coming to United and he took a sip.
yeah. Yeah, so the thing is, I absolutely rooted for Sancho, and when Sancho signed for United, I thought this is one player who is not going to fail, okay, because he has proved it in a very good club from a very young age, that too to start with. Whatever went down, I'm not going to put that on Sancho or Eric Ten Hag, but what Eric Ten Hag did was right from a manager's standpoint. So he had to stamp his authority on the team, and he cannot. He did it with Ronaldo. He did it with Sancho, and the fact is, even Ronaldo fanboys will say that he was harshly handled. For Sancho, you cannot even say that. He gave time off. He did whatever he could do from his power to protect the player for a year and a half. And when the performance did not warrant a starting place, of course, you can say Anthony has to start over Sancho. But Sancho clearly said at United that he wanted to start on the left. Whereas as soon as he goes to Dortmund, he again starts on the right. Surprisingly, he has an issue only to start on right for United. So United has a problem with right wingers. I don't know what. Uh, so somehow I
this,
hope.
the
Uh,
right part of the Stretford end is cursed, Class A. We can see that. Yeah.
yeah,
Who was
probably,
your
probably
last successful right winger, Klasa?
Antonio Valencia.
Oh, he was a right back in the first place, Class A.
No, he
Yeah.
was a right winger when he signed. He became a
Oh,
right back
okay.
later in the during his retirement phase. The last 2 years for Mourinho, he played right back, but
Funny,
he was signed.
He could
anybody
have,
He
from
was
right?
this one political party that I will not name, they could simply walk over to Old
signed.
Trafford and they would
Uh,
instantly be
they will easily become.
the
So that's what I said. Modi will be the best right winger if United signed him. So he's that good, okay?
You can keep
Because
Tejasvi
our
Surya.
right
I hate
winger,
seeing that picture of
Sports
him.
Entertainment Weekly does not endorse view
It
of any
does.
of the individuals.
yeah, yeah. Opinions are purely personal,
Yeah. Not
but yeah,
endorsements. Yeah.
but yeah. So the thing is, Sancho had a good game. Okay, nothing like standout performance. He dribbled well. He got out of tight spaces really well, which he did not do at United, which I'm not going to deny. But his end product, when it comes to passing, when it goes to like giving the final pass, he was still not there. So it is purely media kind of saying like just because he had the most dribbles since Messi did it last in UCL, it's
Yeah.
just unfair to brand it as a good performance because uh, I'm not saying it. It was not a bad performance. It was a good performance. But
Now who's
the way,
being sorry?
no, I'm not being salty. I'm giving credit. I'm saying he played well. I'm not going to say Bellingham did not do well, like how Charlie said. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Sancho had a good game, but it is just overhyped to say like Sancho had the best performance by an Englishman in a very long time. When Phil Foden did a masterclass last year in the UCL final.
Yeah.
So that is what I would say. Even though you might say like I have a bias, I certainly do not have a bias because you can always say other players played well. I am saying he played well, but his end product was nowhere there. And I am going to root for Sancho to play well because that is an easier way for us to get some money and sell him off. So I don't want him anywhere near
Ooh.
the United starting team. So the more he
Instead of
plays,
Don,
the more he
Classic.
scores.
Vested
So it's
interest.
8D chess. It's 8D chess that we are playing right now. So
Class A,
that
you're
is what we
thinking.
are
No,
doing.
I think
Class A, you're
Dortmund
thinking like a.
already played an 80 just to get to the situation where they had their cake and ate it too.
Yeah. Class A, you're thinking like a private equity venture capitalist. You get me?
No, no, I am thinking about how United signs Police and how Sancho is going to
Yeah.
fund for that. So that is what I'm doing right now.
This is the balance of the scales.
Yeah, exactly,
United signed
exactly.
him for what 100 million or something.
No,
Yeah.
United signed him for 70. If you sell him
70.
for
Yeah.
40 to 50, I'll be happy because he played for two
I am
years.
not recovering that
So
money.
Got you. But
yeah, so
but
anything.
one stat Class A that would I like to highlight is like Sancho like did 11 take-ons against Paris Saint-Germain yesterday, which was as equal as Messi did in the 2008-9 UCL final against Manchester United, which was the highest ever take-ons did by any football player in a single UCL match. But that was really commanding of Jadon Sancho yesterday. Like
No,
looks
I'm
like he
not.
really.
I'm saying he did very well, but it
Yeah,
is not a case that he played a part in the goal. He was
get you,
not great defensively tracking back, in my opinion.
get you.
So the thing is, he did what he had to do as an attacker. But if you ask me
Get
as a full game, his game was not complete to warrant a man of the match or anything. If you saw the man of the match went to Max Hummels, you don't see
Yeah,
anyone hyping up Max Hummels ultimately.
yeah. That's
So
what I was trying to say. Max Hummels was legendary yesterday. To be honest, yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about Sancho. I think the reason why you saw that he didn't have a final ball was because Fulkrug missed like two very easy chances. And if you, I mean, Sancho did all the good work, got to the byline, and made a very like easy pass. I think Fulkrug had like a very easy tap in, which he missed. I think one of them he hit on his knee or something and flew out from the top. So it could have been like it's a minor difference between like a goal and an assist and between having like no end product. So I wouldn't blame Sancho for that. It is like he did very well. I understand why you would, as a United fan, not want to give him all the credit, but I think
no. I
he
am
did
giving him credit. He
very
had
well.
a good game. He had a very good game. But I'm just saying he did not have a Messi SQ performance. That is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
Like a
sure.
Messi's performance, when you hype it, it is actual. Like it warrants that hype. Like what you see on Twitter right now is just other club fans saying Sancho played well. Of course, you get out of the club because you're not playing well. So you can be all happy that you want that Sancho is playing well. But the thing is, as a player, as a United player who's on loan, I know what Sancho will turn up when he goes to a club which has like a mentality or like Sancho will not turn up for Real Madrid, in my opinion. He does not have the mentality to turn up there. He will not go to any, let's say, big club. That's why Pep Guardiola sold him for to start with when he was 17. He had attitude issues. Like for a player to mature, you need to be in a
He
position
does
that you
sound
can
like
take
somebody who
criticism.
needs the coddling.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It
think
is
that is
always confidence. So people like saying his loan has been a success to Dortmund. I hope it turns out to be a success. But right now, if you see his loan, he has had 20 odd games. He has just scored 4 goals and had 1 assist. So it is
Yeah.
not like a monstrous loan like how people are hyping it to be. He had a good game yesterday, no denial. But
yeah.
the more he plays well, the more United can get out of him. So I'm just happy it's a win-win for United.
I think that's
But
common across a lot of Dortmund players. Is what I've noticed that they've that like good players who have probably not succeeded as much as they should have. Like you look at Jadon Sancho for example, and then there's Marco Reus who has been there forever. I mean, he should have won a lot more. I think Julian Brandt is there. Fulkrug has just come into being like as good as he's 31 now, and he's been in the Germany
I,
national team only for 2 years.
I, I
like,
think probably United also made a mistake signing always the long players from Dortmund, be it Henrik Mkhitaryan or
Yeah,
yeah,
Jadon Sancho, Kagawa. Like there are so
Sabitzer
many
for a
examples.
while.
Yeah, it's been for a while, but yeah, it is just you need to know the player's attitude, mentality. Because for example, Haaland, he turns up well. He did it well in EPL. Bellingham seems to do fine in La Liga right now. So it's just about ultimately players when they leave the club, they just need to be ready to take the next step and be ready for that next challenge. You cannot just be at your comfort zone, right? So Sancho certainly preferred to go back to the comfort zone, and he's not used to harsh treatment probably for whatever reason. But I don't think like I would blame Eric. Eric Ten Hag might have made 100 mistakes, but Sancho, like loaning out Sancho, is certainly not one.
Right.
that's true.
I think we have to move on and cover the other
The
aspects of
game.
the PSG game. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Kiska, I had two things. So like I was always classically since you saw the game, I didn't see the whole game, but since you saw the game, like I saw Marco Asensio, Lee Kangin, and a midfielder like Carlos Soler benched for the game against Dortmund, where in the place of them, Bradley Barcola, Warren Zaire Emery, and necessarily Vitinha couldn't have started. But like, can I know what warranted the starting of Barcola, Zaire Emery instead of like proven players
Sadly,
like Marco
framing that
Asensio?
question in a way you would think Lhasa is the coach of PSG.
No. See, the thing is, they have
No,
basically
Like,
stuck to the same team that played last time
Orange.
as well.
oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, Luis
so
Enrique.
Luis Enrique seems to prefer the same thing because, for example, I see Milan Skriniar on the bench for a very long time, and I don't know the reason because he's a top quality centre back who was signed as a free agent, and you took so much to convince a player to leave a club for free, and you gave so much added bonus, and you're putting them on a bench for so long. I don't understand because they signed Beraldo recently from
Yeah.
South America, and he seems to start over Skriniar. I don't understand the logic, but ideally, yesterday, what uh, PSG were unlucky to be honest. Mbappe had three very good chances. He hit the post as well once, and it hit
Hakimi hit
two
the
times.
post.
Yeah, Hakimi hit the post as well. So they had a few good chances to draw level. It was a very open game. It was not a kind of a game where one team dominated and the other team was just holding uh, their defense tight, but that was not the case. Both teams were going for the kill, even though it was Dortmund's home game. And I think it could have gone either side if uh, Mbappe turned up. Mbappe
Yeah.
chose
Exactly.
to
Yeah, I think that
probably.
is quite telling. We've been talking about like 50 minutes for this game, and we've barely mentioned Mbappe, which is like
Yeah,
quite indicative of his performance.
Like
I think that is more down to like Dortmund planning to isolate him. Like every time he had the ball, there were like three players covering him. They did not let him get goal side. I think except for one chance that he hit the post. Other than that, he was completely on his own. They let
he was.
Hakimi run through. They let Dembele run through on goal, and both of them couldn't do much in terms of end product. But Mbappe was always, you know, he always had like two or three players on him at all times. And who was that guy? Idem, or what's his name? The left wing player
Madsen,
for
Madsen,
Ian
Madsen,
Matson. Ian Matson. Yeah.
no, not him. The one who
Uh,
was
Nuno Mendes, Nuno Mendes.
I don't remember the guy with
Adeyemi.
the afro.
Adeyemi. Adeyemi. Adeyemi.
Barcola,
Name.
Barcola.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That guy had a great game. If you look
Yeah.
at his performance, he was one of the standout performance for me. And again, Hakimi felt really, really tired. You could see at one point he was like panting for breath, just trying to keep up with him. So yeah, that's one standout performance that I really liked watching. I don't know much about it, but he seems like an exciting player to watch out for.
Adeyemi scored
Yeah.
against Chelsea as well in the
Yeah.
Uh,
quarters or in the. I think was it this. Chelsea didn't play this year, is it? Yeah,
no, no,
I
no. They
remember.
finished.
I remember
But
Adeyemi scoring against an
Adeyemi
English team.
scored.
English team.
He scored as the bridge. He scored at the bridge, right? Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, he scored at the bridge. He scored at the bridge.
Yeah.
He scored at the bridge last year. I think that was last year. But
Last year.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
yeah. He was signed as a striker, but now he has moved to the wing purely to
Yeah.
accommodate Haller or Fulkrug right now. So, but yeah, Matson and Ademi both had a very good game. They completely controlled the right side of the wing, which is their left side basically, and that's why Dembele couldn't even get a sniff ideally
Yeah.
throughout the game.
But
And I was surprised that Dembele was not booed at Signal Iduna Park to the extent I expected. He has a
but
tendency to get booed at every ex club.
every possible stadium there is. But that is why I brought in like Marco Asensio into the picture, class, because I think instead of Dembele, if Marco Asensio started, right, he would have been able to pierce that Ian Matson, Slaughterbeck, Adeyemi, like was one a little bit very easily than Dembele. I think so. Dembele folded so
I,
quickly. If Asensio
I was
is a more physical player than
I,
Dembele, and I think
I
Asensio would
I
have made a
think
difference.
I think they should have not started Mbappe centrally because that was a complete fail.
Sure.
Mbappe was completely marked out centrally. Like Hummels and
Yeah.
Schlotterbeck completely took him out whenever he received the ball, and Chan was there to triple up whenever
Yes.
Mbappe got the ball. They should have probably started Mbappe on the left flank so that he could have spread the 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 width of the game, and should have started with either Colomwani or Ramos in the center so that they have that physical presence centrally. But I don't
Yeah.
see Enrique following that. Probably he's just too much into this pretty football with
Yeah.
uh,
He's a,
pass, 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 like
he's just
how Pep does all the time. So
He just vibes and inshallah. That's it. Like, yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, class A predictions. Who would go
but
through?
uh, I think PSG will go through.
PSG, okay. Like, are you saying like Mbappe would just decimate Dortmund at the Parc des Princes, or is there a chance
I
that
think,
Dortmund?
I think it is going to be Mbappe's final game against Real Madrid before he signs for them. So that would be the perfect fairy tale story for
It
him.
would be like Rudiger auditioning for Madrid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But I just hope the opposite could happen. I hope Bayern go through the next
Bayern?
Bayern Madrid tie, and then like Dortmund go through the Dortmund PSG tie. Just because I know like in a parallel universe, I just want a hypothetical possibility of Royce lifting the UEFA Champions League, just to give that guy a fitting farewell and to his career. So I would like
What
that.
wrong? What wrong did Harry Kane do? What wrong did Harry Kane do that he cannot
No,
even win against?
He played for Tottenham.
no, let Harry Kane win that UCL next season. Not like that's always a possibility. But Roy is winning an UCL. It's like it's a very distant light years away. So you could
I
get
think
me.
Yeah,
Sari is
that is
really hard
that
to
is an
become
important.
United tree of our podcast. I
Oh, me.
don't think any of his predictions is gonna come good. Just
I
gonna
want Real Madrid to go through, and I think Dortmund will be fine. I think they are like they'll hold their own. I think PSG don't. Uh, PSG rely on Mbappe too much, and they've like Dortmund have figured it out. So I think they'll be fine.
but the
I
fact
think
that
I think Dortmund needs someone like Araujo to make a mistake within the first 10 minutes for PSG to win the game.
Got you, Kriska, got you. Yeah, red card to Hummels, and then the game is finished. I think Mbappe would hit a double hat trick
And then
in the
it's
second leg.
second leg was actually just some black magic. Who do they probably reached out to Paul Pogba or something before the game?
The African juju, the Ghanaian juju. Yeah.
Cool. I think I'm good with anything that's not PSG versus Real Madrid. I think it would be too much to take for football.
Yes.
And I'll have to support Real Madrid. That's
Why,
I'll say
bro?
that. I don't want P. I don't like PSG or City.
out of
I also don't like.
PSG and Real Madrid. That's a
I
Barca
don't
fan.
like. Let me say, I don't like Real Madrid, PSG, Manchester City, Chelsea, anything. That's why I want Bayern and Dortmund to come to the finals. Simple as that. Just for nostalgic purposes.
For the good
I
of
just don't want
football,
Harry Kane to win anything. So
Bro, that's just sadistic, bro. He's not that
out,
evil.
out of these, that is the only motivation I have.
He's not that evil of a person. He's a kind
I
person. I hope so. Yeah.
I
But
think
10 penalties against Arsenal.
I think DK will take
crazy
Bayern victory.
girlfriend.
I think DK will take a Bayern victory purely to say that they can boast that they were only beaten by the UCL champions.
Yeah. Just one way of putting how much he says he can.
That has happened before.
He was hurt. Yeah.
But like how Harry Kane lives rent free a year after leaving North London is just insane. Poor guy, just let him go do his thing. He didn't even sign for a City or United. He's off to Germany.
It was so much fun when Granit Xhaka won the Bundesliga at Leverkusen. So, yeah.
The only thing that I hope an Arsenal fan gets to celebrate this year.
Oh, that was
I'm
a
not
huge
very
one.
vocal about anything else, so it's okay.
That was a classic one. That was a classic one. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to that Bayer Leverkusen Roma match. It should be a huge, really entertaining match to watch. Just and like yeah, unlike how Roma were doing with Mourinho, like a combination of good and bad, 2 games good, 2 games bad, and sort of stuff. They are doing really good with Daniel De Rossi as a coach, and they would really like how De Rossi would spar against Alonso and go into this type. Yeah, really looking forward to this.
All right, with that, we'll see. Probably in the weekend, we'll know how DK's mode will be in the next stream for the next 3 months.
Mental, like Joe Biden put a Twitter post today. Mental health is health. DK. Let's concentrate on it.
What is that? Marcus Rashford thing.
Okay.
All right,
See
fun
you.
stream.
Bye, guys.